Welcome to Clippers Live Postgame presented by Hyundai on FanDuel Sports Network. Welcome back to Houston. Clippers win 105-102, a fight to the finish and a heroic Kawhi Leonard. As we take a look at what would turn out to be the game winner, Kawhi has a few spots on the floor, and that is most certainly one of them. Taking another look. No shortage of defenders in red all around. Kawhi Leonard gets it done nonetheless. What's going on, everybody? Courtside now, Lauren Rosen alongside Jim Jackson. We were with you throughout that one. We saw how it ended. And Jim, what a punctuation mark to go into the All-Star break.
It really was. It was, and Brian and I were talking about this, and I hope our viewers at home kind of gathered this, that the Clippers, despite not playing well, were never out of it. It was a 5 or 6 possession game. Some runs were happening, got it down to 3 points, back up to 11, but it never morphed into or snowballed into 20 points, 25, and that just makes it more difficult to come back. So the Clippers just hung around, and then the defense just kicked in that fourth quarter.
Let's take a look at some of those fourth quarter highlights. And Jim, really, the whole cast played a role in the way that this one ended up going down. Take a look at Brook Lopez, who's had to step up this trip. No more Ivica Zubac means big-time opportunity for Brook Lopez, big-time opportunity for the new Clippers. Benedict Matherin's fingerprints all over this one. Jim, what'd you see?
I saw an attention to detail, more aggressive defense, forcing this Houston team to be very uncomfortable operating in their offensive sets. Yes, that was an offensive rebound that got to Kevin Durant. That was just one of the few mistakes defensively that this team made in the fourth quarter. And listen, here's the blueprint moving forward. And it probably for the Houston Rockets, late game situations, fourth quarter, you want to press. And then you want to get the ball into your best player's hand. Get it to Kawhi in the middle of the court, and you live with whatever circumstances happen. If he makes the shot, if he misses, so what? You get the ball in your best player's hands and allow him to make something happen. That's what Kawhi did.
What did you see from Kawhi over the course of the evening as we crescendoed to a great fourth quarter? He was quieter there. Thank you. I learned it from Brian, actually. As we got to the fourth quarter, though, he was a little slower on his roll than he has been over the last few games. But like you said, making it count when it matters.
I can't speak for Kawhi, but it seems as though he still had the trust in his teammates to be able to make things happen, to get it close enough that a fourth quarter where he can put his internal, which is what happened. That's the beauty about trusting your teammates and having these young men that have stepped up in situations that otherwise they may not have been in before, that you can trust that they could make plays offensively and defensively. That allows your best player to do what they do best, which is take over a game. That's what Kawhi was able to do, not just in the fourth quarter, but the entire second half.
We talked about it in the pregame show, Jim. There are a couple key players, marquee faces of this league who have been injured in the last couple of months. But Kawhi Leonard, regardless of what the circumstances are, has been perhaps the best player in the NBA here going into the break.
It's hard to argue that he hasn't, just because of the consistency in which he's played on both ends of the court, the shooting percentages, and to boot, you're winning basketball games. So it's hard to argue and say that he hasn't been the best basketball player in the last 2 months. You know, I'll die on a sword on that one, because it's outstanding players, but what Kawhi's been able to put together, and you couple that with the wins, he's right there.
Kawhi led the way, but this was a total team effort here in Houston. When we come back, we'll take a look at that team effort. The supporting cast was thriving here tonight, especially down the stretch. We'll hope to hear from Tyronn Lue as well. Don't go anywhere. Clippers Live post-game, and what a game that was. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Clippers Live postgame presented by Hyundai on FanDuel Sports Network. Welcome back to Houston. Unbelievable finish from Kawhi Leonard. The bench loved it. Kawhi was happy. We will head now to Tyronn Lue, addressing reporters, including, of course, our own Brian Seaman.
Yeah, I thought, down the stretch, especially in that fourth quarter, just took over the game, took control of the game. But like you said, it was a total team effort. I thought being off the bench, his defense was really good. Brook Lopez protecting the rim all night. KD's defense all night. DJ, John Collins. I just thought, we got down 13 and guys just kept fighting, kept competing, and kept scrapping. And that's who we got to be, every night. We're not going to make shots every night, but we can play hard and compete. And that's what our guys did tonight. So I'm very proud of them for that.
You seem to have staggered the minutes with Şengün and Lopez, obviously by design, and worked out pretty well. That might be Brook's best game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, he made a big shot for us, but I thought defensively, he was really good. Like I said, protecting the rim, guarding Şengün, which is a tough cover, But it starts with our defense. We took care of the basketball, only having 11 turnovers. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but we took care of the basketball, which is huge for us. And then, we made plays down the stretch, which was great.
Brian Shaw said at halftime he liked your defense, even though they were shooting 59% from the field at the turn. What changed in the second half?
Well, I think what he's saying is because, we turned them over 21 times, so when they got shots up, they scored, but when we was able to, blitz and cause chaos, we was able to, shoot the gap for steals, turn them over, get out in transition. And, that's what helped us out. So when I say our defense, being great and being, physical and in the bodies, protecting the paint, understanding the game plan. Like I said, I thought JVG did a great job just, with our adjustments and what we was able to do in that second game. And so when we turn teams over, like you said, we're a different team and we take care of the basketball.
Ben Shaw hasn't been following the past two nights, but how did you like his aggressiveness, especially early in that fourth quarter, just to continually get to the line and bring you guys back in it?
Yeah, I thought he was really aggressive, and so your shot's not going to fall every night, but he passed up some open ones early in the game. But we need him to score the basketball, but we also need him to guard the way he did tonight. And, us being up 2, I think, and stealing the ball from Thompson at half court, getting the foul, making 2 more free throws to put us up 4 was a big play as well. Maybe put us up 2. But, defensively is what we're going to challenge him every night because we know he can score the basketball.
How well do you feel like he's fit among the guys in this rotation yet? I mean, he made a big energy play tonight. Just how well has he assimilated to this?
He's been good, and he's going to get better. Once he understands the plays and all the different things, he's going to be way better. But to come in and play 2 games with no practices and, going through the plays, I think one day, it's a good job. So we got to keep working with him, got to bring him in on off days to get him caught up.
And what's it like just watching that Kawhi Leonard fourth quarter takeover? I know his shot wasn't falling the first 3 quarters, but 19 points in that fourth, and then just the confidence to get to him with the game on the line. Yeah, I mean, come on, that's Kawhi, and so the game's on the line, we know where the ball's going, and he brought us home tonight, got to a spot, big 3-point play, and so, just sticking with the game plan, understand he's going to put 2 on the ball the whole night, understand he's going to double team and blitz. And he made the right plays and the right reads. And we didn't make a lot of shots, but down the stretch, after trusting the whole game, down the stretch, like I said, to get 19 in the fourth quarter, just tells you what kind of player he is.
Jim, we were chatting about it a little bit just now. When you think about Sunday's performance at Minnesota, the first time the new guys were able to run with this group, and then today, here in Houston, coming back from down 15. Are those the 2 best wins of the season in context?
I think it is based on the circumstances because you're talking about 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference against a team in the Clippers that have kind of went through a roster change and they had to figure some things out. And playing the way they've been able to play, leaning into their defense. Think about this. This Houston team averages 114 points a game. For the last 2 games, they scored 102 points, okay? Both games. Turning the ball over, 21 turnovers tonight, 18 last night. So defensively, what the Clippers were able to do speaks volumes. There's a reason why they had an opportunity tonight to come back and win this game. Plus 11 in the fourth quarter, okay? Not turning the ball, only 11 turnovers. Again, this is something for a team you would think that had been together for a while, but this is a team that had went through some pretty deep changes with some key individuals, but yet and still able to walk out of here with a W.
Yeah, very little continuity, but putting good teams in tough positions now in as many opportunities as they've had. Very cool, very much looking forward to what the team is able to do here after the All-Star break. So let's take a look at the days to come. Yannick Koenen-Niederhauser, the next Clipper in action, playing in the Rising Stars game on Friday, representing the San Diego Clippers and the G League. Then Kawhi Leonard really showed tonight why he was added to the All-Star game game on Sunday, by the way, should have been in there from the start, as we all agree, but at least he is going to be there. And we are very happy to watch him play on Sunday at the first All-Star game at Intuit Dome. And then the Clippers return to action Thursday, hosting the Denver Nuggets. They'll play at the Lakers on Friday. No rest for the weary. Well, a little bit of rest here at the All-Star break, Jim, but for the first time in a long time, and then it's right back to the races. What do you make of the road ahead here?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I love to see. Denver's been a tough matchup. I don't care what their roster has been since Jokic has been there for the Clippers. But I'm very interested to see how this Clipper team, restructured, competes against the Denver Nuggets now. It's a different kind of mindset. It's a different personnel. And I would hope that it would be different results against that Denver team. Tough team.
And it's a different Clippers team than the Rockets saw a few weeks ago, etc. This will be a theme as we come back from the break. Jim Jackson, thanks as always for joining me here on Clippers Live Postgame. I hope you have a lovely break. I know you'll be working, but I hope you get a little bit of time to rest. Kawhi Leonard has earned some time to rest. He will, though, be back in action on Sunday, and we'll wrap things up after this. Every weekday on FanDuel Sports Network, catch Golic and Golic at 12:30 p.m. Father and son bring the bold takes and welcome in special guests from the world of sports. And then stick around for Countdown Live, presented by Prime, hosted by Stan Barrett at 2:30 p.m. to get you ready for an evening of great sports action. 2 big shows back to back, all the sports you need, all in one place, and only on FanDuel Sports Network. And as we say a good night from Houston, a reminder to tune in for our next telecast coming up after the All-Star break on Thursday, February 19th. The Clippers will be back at Intuit Dome to host Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Clippers Live will hit the air at 7 p.m. Pacific time on FanDuel Sports Network. For Brian Seaman, Jim Jackson, and our entire crew, I'm Lauren Rosen. Thanks for spending the evening with us. The latest edition of Clippers Weekly is coming up next.